New York 9.
You know the good times start at PNC now. Well, it's the place for you and me now.
Shop the Price Champion this week and save on great tasting PNC fresh all-natural turkey breast, just 99 cents a pound. Fresh from the PNC Service Deli, cooked sliced ham, moisture added, only $1.44 a half pound. And take home Carolina Prize sliced bacon, the 1 pound package, just 79 cents.
You know the good times start at PNC. You know the good times start at PNC.
We need a break.
We need a break.
A McDonald's break.
Yeah, a Big Mac.
Fries.
Yeah, large fries.
An ice-cold medium Coke Classic.
Oh, give me a break.
Everything, all of it right now, just $2.99.
$2.99 for all that?
Are we getting a break?
Yes.
A Big Mac sandwich, large fries, and a medium Coke, all for just $2.99? That's incredible.
Nah, that's just one of the great value meals at McDonald's today.
The Nissan Pathfinder 4x4 has the best resale value in its class. That is, if you can find someone who wants to sell one. Drive a Nissan, then decide. History has a funny way of repeating itself. Better be prepared. The reliable four-wheel drive Nissan Pathfinder V6. It can help any family weather the storm.
Your 24-hour news source is Central New York 9. Now, the news team that's making a difference. Rod Wood, Carrie Lazarus, Dan Cummings, meteorologist Dave Eichhorn, and Doug Logan with sports. This is 9 News.
The two top automakers are reporting big losses, but are Central New York car dealers on the skids? Good evening, everyone. The recession and the slower than expected recovery have stalled car sales around the country.
General Motors and Ford are posting third-quarter losses that could drive the auto industry to its worst year ever. GM says it lost $1.1 billion in the third quarter. Ford reports a loss of $574 million, and Chrysler's figures due in next week are expected to be $400 million. Well, though the numbers are not good for Detroit's big three automakers, many of Central New York's car dealers are riding along okay. Cheryl Nathans tonight explains why.
Oh, sure, there are some dealers who are hurting bad, but others, well, take the people pushing the new Saturn. They're taking every Saturn the factory's willing to send them. As many as 90 cars are rolling out of here every month. Things are slower in this Dodge showroom, but slow doesn't translate into terrible.
We've certainly seen increases since the second quarter of this year and anticipate seeing more. And we feel that it's due to the fact that there are excellent bargains out there right now.
So how does it compute? We're hearing that car sales are okay, yet the automakers are reporting major losses. Well, to understand the whole thing, you have to look at what those losses are based on. The new numbers are in comparison to record car sale years. So naturally, given today's unsure economy, with so many people nervous about making a big purchase, the losses are going to seem dramatic. This woman didn't think twice about buying a new car. That is, after she was smart enough to make sure she could pay for it.
If the money can be put aside and if you can create a budget based on your income, then it can be afforded. And it's just a matter of figuring out what can be afforded.
This couple doesn't think they can afford a new car, so they're shopping for a used one.
We're saving for a house, so we want to get rid of one of our cars and get into a less expensive one that we won't have to make payments on.
Many people have opted to go the used car route. Automotive analysts are predicting that's going to change as soon as the economy gets back into gear. Cheryl Nathans, 9 News, Syracuse.
Now, we talked to several Central New York car dealers, the Samdell Group, the Burdick Group, Romano Auto Dealers, and East Syracuse Chevrolet, and all of them say that while sales are down, they are surviving nicely.
Carrie, even Japanese cars aren't selling like they used to, but when it comes to technology that might wow people into choosing a particular car, Tokyo is putting the pedal to the metal. That's obvious from this Auto Expo now on in Tokyo. Features like starting your car with a card instead of a key and using a television screen as a rear view mirror are here or almost here. Now, many of the tourists who take in this show with their camcorders are not Japanese. More about competition and making better products coming up in tonight's cover story. I'll have a report on a business that's grown all through the recession. All through his captivity, Jesse Turner thought of his family. It helped keep him going for 4.5 years as a hostage in Lebanon. As our first look at world and national news continues now, Turner is reunited with his wife Badr and has a first meeting with their daughter Joanne, born 5 months after he was kidnapped.
She was great, really. I didn't expect that, but she came to him smoothly and she said, "Daddy," and he answered her, "Yes, sweetheart." That's it.
The Turners celebrated an early Thanksgiving today at the U.S. Army Hospital in Wiesbaden, Germany. Turkey dinner with all the trimmings. Turner has not wanted to talk much about his years as a hostage. He is being interviewed by doctors and a State Department team.
In a small private ceremony, Clarence Thomas took his final oath today. He is officially now a justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Thomas said he moved up the ceremony by a week and a half to switch his personal staff over to the High Court's payroll and get down to work. California police tonight say President Bush might have become a target for assassination next month if they hadn't arrested a very heavily armed man. Here's part of the arsenal they found at Thomas Ward's home in Oxnard. 37 firearms and other weapons, too. Investigators say Ward has already threatened the president's life and may have been planning to kill him November 4th. That was at the dedication of the Reagan Presidential Library.
The stock market was mixed today. The Dow Jones Industrials were up 1 point, but decliners led gainers 3-2. Volume a heavy 185 million shares. Among stocks of local interest, AT&T was unchanged at 38 3/8. Bristol Myers Squibb was up a full 2 points today. Chrysler was down 1/4, while Cooper was up 1/4. General Electric was up 5/8. Niagara Mohawk unchanged on the day. Oneida Limited was down 1/8, and UTC was down 1/4. We have some advice for parents tonight.
If college rates continue to go up like they have been, parents of a baby born today, listen to this, can expect to pay as much as $70,000 a year for tuition. And Rod, I know you have some advice from Consumer Reports. How can anybody, even with 18 years to raise the money, expect to come up with that much?
Jerry. The cost is just staggering these days, but there are some ways you can help out here. The advice is start saving money right now, and Consumer Reports has been calculating what you'd have to be salting away each year to pay for college in the 21st century.
Mary and Robert Sullivan have 2 children. They are only 5 and 7 years old, but college tuition costs are already on their parents' minds.
Not only is it hard to put money away, my ability to put money away is not keeping pace with the increases in school tuition.
The Sullivans are not alone. Many parents are facing the staggering costs of college in the 21st century. Consumer Reports says there are advantages to planning early.
When a younger child considers stock mutual funds, they'll probably do best over the long term. If your child, though, is a couple of years away from entering college, you'll probably want to be in something less volatile so that if the market goes down, you'll have enough money to pay those college bills.
Parents of a newborn should aim for a 9% return from stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. At that rate, you would have to invest $1,700 a year to pay for a public college, $5,200 a year for a private college. If you're just starting to save for an older child, expect to put aside more and choose a safer investment. For a 12-year-old, at a 7% return, you would need to set aside $3,700 a year for a public college, $9,100 for a private one.
There are a number of things for college investors. U.S. savings bonds, stock mutual funds have some programs. States have what they call baccalaureate bonds. There are some special kinds of CDs. Whatever you choose, look carefully at the terms, though.
Start saving early. If you set aside enough each year, you will be able to afford college for your child.
Should you put your college tuition investment in your child's name? Consumer Reports says there are some definite tax advantages, but if it is in your child's name, he or she may not qualify for financial aid. Want some more information? Write me in care of Consumer Reports, WIXT 5904 Bridge Street, East Syracuse 13057. Please include a stamped, self-addressed envelope. So when it comes to saving money for college, the quicker the better, preferably when the baby's born.
Boy, those numbers are really amazing. I calculated $550 a month starting now to send Emily to a private college.
So you better start putting more money in the bank.
You're right, Rod.
Or get her playing basketball real quick.
Yeah, something
like
like
scholarship,
that.
perhaps, yes.
What about tomorrow, Rod?
Tomorrow night we're going to be talking, Dan, about microwave ovens for folks on the go. We'll show them the best models here.
They're a little more affordable. Thanks.
They are.
Well, what does it take to expand a business in times like these? Coming up in our cover story, I'll report on this success and the opportunity for others.
Taxpayers here are being told that the cost of school renovation may never be any cheaper, a decision coming tonight.
And Election Day is the test for this man, a mayoral candidate who doesn't take himself too seriously.
The Atlanta Braves remain very much alive in their quest for a World Series championship. Doug will have the story in sports.
Well, did you like it? Of course you did. There's more of it on the way, too. Back with a warm forecast.
Listen to this one. Listen, my mom was making chicken and stovetop stuffing last week.
Stovetop?
And Beth Turner invites me over for chicken and stovetop the same night. My Beth? So I'm thinking stovetop with the celery, onions, herbs, and spices, and then it hits me. What? We always eat at 6. So I asked Beth to make it at 8.
You can never get enough stovetop stuffing. Check our box for the recipe to make stovetop right in a bird.
Tomorrow, have you fallen victim to one of the top 10 scams of 1991?
Then if you missed a performance in your town, catch Paula Abdul here on Good Morning America tomorrow.
Sure was a busy one yesterday.
Here we go again.
Reaction time is critical. Quick reflexes are essential. During the Jeep and Eagle Red Hot and Ready to Roll sale, you gotta move fast for cash back and Olympic discounts on Jeep Cherokee. Save on Eagle Summit Wagon with air at no extra charge. Or try Eagle Talon for this low price. Hurry in today. When the smoke clears, there'll be nothing left.
Get the advantage at your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
When Weight Watchers introduced the new Personal Choice program, meeting leaders like me knew that it was a real breakthrough. Our members love it. They love the choice of 3 food plans that makes it so easy for them to stay on the program, and it puts them in control. I'm seeing members lose weight like never before on new Personal Choice. Weight Watchers. It works.
Join now for half price and save $15. That's right, save $15 during the last special offer of 1991. Call 432-1612 for more information.
Now at Sears, this Craftsman garage door opener, a $189.98 value, is a Sears best buy. Includes 1 keychain and 1 standard transmitter. A very special purchase, just $149.99. Only at Sears.
Not only can you save $21 to $898 at City Mattress, you can sleep free. Make no payment and pay no interest until March 1992.
These Southern women think they know what's best for a man, but these women disagree. On the next Oprah.
Thursday afternoon at 4.
You said it would be 75. We did a little bit better than that, and it was good enough for a record.
Yeah, the record for today was 76. That's been standing since 1975. So we're really challenging the record books. There's no question about that, and it's by no means over. But before I get to that, I was at a school today up in Pulaski. I was at the Pulaski High School. Steve Schaefer was the teacher who invited me up there, and we sat down with the students. I did the usual stuff. You know, we talked about some of the things that I have slides of lightning, and we looked at video of tornadoes and whatnot. But in both groups that I spoke with today, the ending questions, the most popular questions that came up near the end of the talk, were in regard to lake effect snow in Pulaski. Can you imagine that? Thanks, folks. I had a good time up there, and I hope those of you students that were with me got something good out of that today, other than just a break from class. Let's take a look at the numbers for today and see how we've done. It was a record breaker, and gosh, what a beautiful day across the state. You know, the wind started to pick up late in the day, but it was very tolerable. Still a few leaves left on the trees. The high today was a record again of 77 degrees. We joined Buffalo in that department. They also made it up to 77 and broke a record this afternoon. The low last night was 44. Nothing to add as far as precipitation goes, and we'll be sort of hard-pressed to get any rain out of this tomorrow either. I'll show you why. Outside still 75 degrees, humidity comfortably low, 45%. The 50s during the night tonight. We'll have variable amounts of cloudiness overnight with a low of about 54. Tomorrow during the wake-up period, variably cloudy, 57. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly clouds and sun, so let's call it variably cloudy skies with only a chance of a shower, and again, a high tomorrow of 74 degrees. Tomorrow night, another mild one, lows in the mid-50s. Here's your planning forecast now. For Friday, maybe a shower, but still 74. Still going for 76 on Saturday. A little bit of cooler air tries to creep in Sunday and Monday. I still have doubts about that. We'll see. But even after that gets in here, if it does, we're still looking at temperatures in the 60s, which is well above normal for this time of year. Okay, let's take a look at the weather school question. Which weighs more, 1 cup of ice or 1 cup of water? I have the answer for you in a little bit.
Okay.
It's 50-50. It's another one of those neat questions, though. I won't even guess. Check with you later, Dave.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, they don't call it eerie for nothing. Still in store, Rick Around Town takes us to a spot on the canal that's pretty chilling this time of year.
But first, the real-life terror of a poison baby. A victim dies from baby food. Also, next to my Family Healthcast, here's a way to get a workout without doing quite so much work.
Tonight's Weather School brought to you by Wilmerite Syracuse Malls.
The Wilmerite Syracuse Malls are all around the town.
Great Northern Mall is still celebrating its 3rd anniversary, this time with a home show. Great Northern Mall can help you make your home more beautiful than ever at the home show going on Thursday through Sunday. And it's the Fall Antique and Collectible Show and Sale at Shoppingtown Mall this Thursday through Sunday. From brass to glass to furniture and more. It's here at Shoppingtown Mall this Thursday through Sunday.
Always something going on all around the town at the Wilmerite Syracuse Malls.
If detected early, breast cancer has an 80 to 90% chance for cure. That's why regular self-exams are critical. But self-exams are not just for women. Testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer in men ages 15 to 34. In its earliest stages, it's nearly 100% curable. Talk to your doctor and call PHP if you'd like a free self-exam guide. Start taking control. Don't wait.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
The 92 Toyotas are here, and you've got to drive them to believe them. New styles, new features, but the same Toyota quality and reliability you've come to depend on. And to go with the brand new 92s are brand new factory-to-dealer incentives and option package savings. Get to your Toyota dealer now and find out what's really new, pussycat.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alcohol or drug problems. Eating disorders. Emotional problems. Help is available today for adults, adolescents, and children. Call the Benjamin Rush Center at 476-2161 or 1-800-647-6479.
In tonight's health headlines, a story that will scare every parent of an infant. A 5-month-old girl died at a New York City hospital this morning after eating possibly tainted baby food. Linda Lynn ate Beechnut Chiquita Bananas Stage 1 baby food. It was bought at this Harlem grocery store. The jar was one about 15 believed to have been tampered with. The child ate the food last Wednesday. She died this morning at New York Hospital. The Food and Drug Administration plans to inspect the Beechnut plant in Canajoharie. All the tampered baby food jars were sealed at the plant, which is east of Utica. The nation's largest group of surgeons is saying no to AIDS testing. The federal government recommends doctors and dentists who do surgery get tested. The American College of Surgeons says it's not justified because the risk of infecting a patient is low. And how do local heart surgeons rank compared with doctors around the state? A judge has ruled that that information should be made public. But the state health department may appeal to try and keep the information secret. No Syracuse football fan will soon forget the victory over the Florida Gators in the Carrier Dome a few weeks ago. While SU showed the Gators a thing or two, we can all learn something from some research going on at the University of Florida. Tonight's focus looks at your health and exercise, at a way to work out that uses less effort and gets more results. Meet the Negator. It's a computer-driven exercise system. It lets you lower more weight than you can lift and do it for a longer period of time. So if you're lifting 25 pounds, you can lower 40 or 50 pounds. The results from the first test group are impressive.
If you look at our group that did the eccentric training, they had 30% strength gains, which is a significant difference over a short period of time.
The University of Florida football team already has its own orange and blue Negator, and their strength coach says it stimulated a lot of interest as well as results.
Everybody that's used the machine loves the machine. It's funny to think that somebody using the machine would love something that hurts them that much, but it's it's a very intense workout, and they see a lot of instant results right off of that. The Negator is also being designed for weekend athletes and as a rehabilitation tool for the handicapped and the elderly. It is first being tested on younger, healthier people.
Our family health question tonight is about a problem many women have had with makeup. This viewer writes, I recently purchased a cosmetic to which I developed a very irritating reaction. If I wanted to test a skin product before using it, where would be a good and inconspicuous place to do so? Well, we checked with a dermatologist who says you should apply a small amount of the product to the skin on your inner arm. Do this for 3 days in a row. But if you don't have a reaction, don't go and smear it all over your face just then. This doctor says because your skin is sensitive and you've already had a reaction and the skin on your face is different from the skin on your arm, what you want to do is then apply a small amount to your cheek at night for 3 nights in a row. If you see redness or any itching, stop it right away. If you have no problems, you found the right makeup for your skin. The answers to your health questions come from a committee of doctors in Syracuse. The best medical advice for you comes from your doctor. And if you have a health question, write to us at this address, WIXT, 5904 Bridge Street, East Syracuse, New York, 13057. It can happen while you're running, taking an aerobics class, even while you're sleeping. It is a cramp in the calf, and it can be very painful. What can you do about it? Well, the answer in tonight's fitness tip with personal trainers Kathy Caiello and Dan Chaikin.
Kathy is going to demonstrate the proper procedure when you do have a cramp like this. Since you're going to be in a lot of pain, being on the ground is a perfect place to be. What Kathy's doing now is she's extending her heel and applying very gentle, firm pressure on her calf, pulling her toe forward to make sure that her heel is pushed out. Since one of the causes of cramps is dehydration, it's also very important to make sure you get something to drink and keep hydrated. That's another way of preventing the cramp.
They do hurt, and if you're patient and stretch it gently like that, toe back towards you.
Toe back, yep, and that works just about all the time, but as Dan said, it's really important to keep drinking because that is often the cause of cramps. It's not just the using of the muscle, it's not getting hydration to it.
All right, thanks, Carrie. Well, a governor's wife is still struggling to recover tonight from a very bad accident.
Rod has the latest on that from the 24-hour update desk. Rod?
Carrie and Dan, the accident victim is Central New York native Marjorie Sundlin, the wife of the Rhode Island governor, and she is still in guarded condition tonight at a Rochester hospital. Mrs. Sundlin had 8 hours of surgery yesterday to remove blood clots from her brain. Her husband hopes tonight it won't be much longer before she regains consciousness.
But all the signs so far seem to be, as the doctor said, in an up plane. The deterioration has stopped, and things seem to be showing some improvement. But
Governor Sundlin plans to stay in Rochester at least through the end of this week. And still ahead on 9 News tonight, how can a business expand in tough times like these? We'll find out in tonight's cover story.
School leaders say their buildings need a facelift, but are people willing to pay for it? People are at the polls now deciding. I'm Christy Casciano in Baldwinsville. The story's coming up.
You're watching 9 News, your 24-hour news source with Rod Wood, Carrie Lazarus, and Dan Cummings.
Wegmans donuts make good goblin.
Sargento's shredded natural cheese makes any dish easy to prepare and impossible to resist.
Not only can you save $21 to $898 at City Mattress, you can sleep free. Make no payment and pay no interest until March 1992.
Lincoln pioneered the introduction of anti-lock brakes in American cars. Continental was the first domestic luxury car with standard driver and right front passenger airbags. And now the 92 Town Car provides standard anti-lock brakes and airbag protection for both driver and right front passenger. For elegance and safety, Lincoln is what a luxury car should be.
This is professional nursing at University Hospital. Extraordinary challenges and unlimited opportunities. High technology and a gentle touch. Possibly the most demanding job you'll ever have, but surely the one that will capture your heart. If you're an experienced nurse, we'd like to hear from you. Professional nursing at University Hospital, a step ahead.
Tonight on Dinosaurs.
The rarely seen human mating ritual. We sought to gently control the specimen with the tranquilizer gun. Phil tags the ear and releases the slightly confused biped back into the wild for future study.
Dinosaurs, then.
Frank and Denise lived in a special world, a living monument to love.
I like talking to you. She said she liked talking to me.
The Wonder Years.
You talk to Denise.
Tonight, beginning at 8 on Central New York 9.
The business you work for may not be booming, but this one is. A homegrown Syracuse company opens its doors on a brand new plant. Once in a while, the sluggish economy surprises us with a success story.
It is a pleasant surprise here in Central New York when the success comes in the manufacturing sector. Dan was on hand today when a multi-million-dollar expansion was unveiled for a business that's ignoring the recession. Dan, how does the Ventry Packing Company just keep doing it?
Well, what recession? That's the question they ask, Rod and Carey. It's the Q word at work here. The chairman of the board and the founder of this company stresses quality. This company found itself a market niche a long time ago and just keeps on developing it. Not only is the Ventry Company expanding, it's moving. Jobs that for decades have been in the city are now headed to the suburbs.
Depending on where you shop, you've likely seen John Ventry's products, Enrico's spaghetti sauce or Frank Sinatra's sauce.
John Ventry has been making sauce in Syracuse for 53 years, for the last 33 right here on Spencer Street in Oil City. With business booming, he wanted to expand right here to build a new plant out behind this one. But Ventry says City Hall didn't cooperate, that Mayor Young's new vision for Oil City was too restrictive. So Ventry took his jobs and his business elsewhere.
This new plant here has been my dream, and dream come true.
The dream will now take root here at the new Ventry Packing corporate headquarters in DeWitt. 66,000 square feet, $4.5 million worth of plant and equipment.
Now I feel like it's getting right there, and I can't even wait for another week to get started. I'd like to see those machines running.
They were running today just for show, as Ventry proudly led a tour of the new plant.
When I first started this business,
production starts here in about a week. Thanks to the state-of-the-art facility, employment will double to more than 100, and production volume will triple over the next few years. Ask Ventry why his business is so good. He sounds like the Lee Iacocca of spaghetti sauce.
Oh, like they've been saying right along about cars and the quality. By Japanese cars, they got a better quality, and the Japanese don't seem to be suffering with the economic conditions, and we put out a good product. And you stick with a good product and make a good product, people buy it.
Now, John Ventry's new plant was partly financed with money from the State Job Development Authority. The state agency wanted us all to know that before Election Day, because proposal number 1 on the ballot will allow the JDA to hike its bonding limit by $300 million, and in turn, they say, provide more jobs just like the ones that Ventry is.
I know I've used the sauce myself. It's great. But what does the city say about Ventry's comment that these jobs should have been able to remain in the city?
I talked to Joe Mariano, Rod, the city's development director, late this afternoon, and he says, in fact, the city did make it more difficult for Ventry to stay in that Franklin Square area where he is, because they would have had to add a new brick facade and very costly improvements to stay in keeping with what the new vision of Oil City is. However, Mariano also says he's probably made it much more valuable now for the Ventry Company to resell someday the land that still exists in Franklin Square, because the value of everything around it is going up. And even if he keeps the old facility there and someday sells it, the value of that Spencer Street property is going up by the day down there. So Mariano said probably a fair trade overall for the Ventry Company. And they don't miss the jobs so badly. They know lots of new jobs be coming into Oil City. They hope.
Times are changing down there.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, another news tonight. After just a day and a half of trial, an Onondaga County Court jury found murder defendant Kevin Green guilty of reduced charges this afternoon. Green, from Memphis, is 18 years old. He killed his friend John Van Scoik with a shotgun after an argument back in April. Green's grandmother testified that the victim walked into the line of fire. The jury said Green's guilty of criminally negligent homicide and a weapons charge, but not guilty of murder. Onondaga County tonight is very worried about what a new state ruling may mean. On the Earth Watch, this intersection, Adams and Almond Streets, is the only place in the county where measurements of air quality are taken. As many of you know who roll through here every day, it is one of the busiest corners in the area. The readings taken here make the air quality poor. and the state is about to declare the county in violation of federal standards. The county today asked the state to move the monitor or test other areas also so that average air pollution levels would come down. Niagara Mohawk had to tell the government about some trouble this afternoon at the 9 Mile 2 nuclear plant near Oswego. A leak of hydrogen coolant from a generator comes under the heading of an unusual event that the NRC wants to know about. But NIMO says there was no radioactivity associated with the problem and no serious harm done to the plant. The unusual event is now over.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Dozens of Onondaga County's CSEA workers are turning up the heat on County Executive Nick Pirro. Working without a contract for more than a year, the union members are urging Pirro to negotiate and end the stalemate. This afternoon's demonstration, the latest in a series, staged by the Civil Service Employees Association to draw attention to the contractual problem. Kerry?
Rod, Democrats around the country may want Mario Cuomo for president, but he's not too popular here in New York State. You may have seen our 9 News poll the other night. 71% of Central New Yorkers don't want the governor to run. Well, now a statewide poll taken for the Buffalo Evening News indicates President Bush would beat Cuomo in New York 56 to 31% if the election were held now. The president, by the way, has poll problems of his own. An ABC News Washington Post survey says George Bush's re-election support has dropped below 50% for the first time. The White House shrugs it off, though, based on the president's latest approval rating. 65% thought he's doing a good job. Well, there's a vote on tonight in Baldwinsville on a plan to spend $11 million to fix up schools. For homeowners, it means spending about $50 a year for the next 10 years. As Christy Casciano tells us tonight, few people are questioning the need, but many are questioning the cost.
This grade school was built in 1954, and it isn't hiding its age very well. Problems are apparent as soon as you walk in. The front doors, for example, they stick. Their bottoms are rotting. Then there's the school's boiler. It's 35 years old. The life expectancy of a machine like this is 25 years. The hallways are dim. In fact, the state says the lighting doesn't meet today's standards. Same problem with the classrooms. Walk into the lunchroom and you'll wonder where the janitor's been. But these windows aren't dirty. That's what happens to plexiglass when it gets old. Outside the building, there are potholes the size of pumpkins.
Here's another problem, as you can see. Because they've piled up so much tar over the years to smooth out the driveway, the sidewalk is now lower than the driveway.
If you equate it to being a homeowner, sooner or later we have to replace a roof or we have to replace a hot water heater. And of course, we don't want to spend our money that way. We'd rather spend it on something else.
But our homeowners, who in many cases feel as if they're already being taxed to the limit, willing to foot the bill.
I voted no.
How come?
Because I think people are fed up. I am. They could have done this over the last 5 years. They're asking for $11 million.
The district calls the repairs absolutely necessary, but it's the voters who will call the final shot. Christy Casciano, 9 News, Baldwinsville.
The polls close tonight in Baldwinsville at 9. We'll have the results as soon as they're available here on your 24-hour news source.
Right in the middle of what many people might call a boring election season steps someone to spice things up. No one gives write-in candidate Art Wenzel much of a shot at winning the mayor's race in Auburn. But as Scott Byroll reports tonight, this rebel with the cause is having some fun along the way.
Sure, Peter, got a minute?